Paco, welcome to the Fan Reviews podcast, man. I was very excited to speak with you today.
Hi, man. Good morning to everyone, and thank you so much for inviting me over. How you doing?
Amazing, amazing. I want to jump right into it with you. So you're 40 countries in 400 days using nothing but Bitcoin. Tell me, what day are you at? Like, how did this even come about? Like, tell me.
It all started with the book with the Bitcoin standard, and I'm currently on the day number 287. So it's almost around 300 days. I am in the 15th country, that is Zambia. I still have 25 countries to go, so it's gonna go over 400 days, but I'm gonna still go at it. The journey is really inspired by the book called The Bitcoin Standard, which is by Saifuddin Amos, which talks about sound money, time preference, saving, what is US dollars. And in the book, there was a very nice article that said about this traveler called Nellie Bly. She was a British lady who had circumnavigated the globe in 1878 by just using pounds and gold coins. And pounds was a new currency there. So I was like, this is 2021. I'm going to travel around the world by just using Bitcoin. And it has been challenging. In Africa, yeah, definitely you need a cash to move around in your public transport, which I do use. But generally, I've been hosted by Bitcoiners in their houses. So this is what it's come to true. Like humans are really kind, and it is a blessing. Like to just have Bitcoiners all around who are definitely great traders, but they do understand what Bitcoin is. Yeah.
Yeah. That's incredible, man. That's very inspiring, to say the least. Where are you from originally?
I am from India and born and raised up in Muscat, Oman, in the Gulf.
Okay. So
Uh,
so you said you're in Zambia right now, right? And this is country number
15.
15. Okay. So that's it. So even travel, are you traveling using Bitcoin as well? Like to pay for your
Yeah,
travels, everything,
yeah.
100%, everything in Bitcoin.
Like I would say right now, we would give it to at 70%. It has taken a hit in Africa, where I have to convert my Bitcoin to cash because I use it for the public transports. So generally, I buy my flights, my hotel bookings on Bitcoin, but or I get hosted by people. But here I am finding businesses that accept Bitcoin. Generally, in every country, I'm able to find a couple of businesses that accept Bitcoin. In Zambia, I've just found one restaurant. I'm going later over that accepts Bitcoin, but he believes more in NFTs too. And so it is just like these one, two people are there. In Zimbabwe, I found a couple of people. One guy who imports cars using Bitcoin. Another is a cafe that accepts Bitcoin. Same thing has happened in Mozambique. I found a hostel or a craft shop or a surf shop that accepts Bitcoin. So I am just getting all these little businesses in every country out into sharing through my blogs on my YouTube channel. This is my camera which I move around with, and I show with people, hey, you're not alone, and you can take your money just in Bitcoin and move around, and you are able to
Ama-
do your peer-to-peer trades too.
Amazing. So even in a scenario where like a vendor or business doesn't accept Bitcoin, you're using your Bitcoin to convert to their currency and then doing what you have to
True,
do.
true,
Perfect.
true, true. Yes,
Okay,
yes.
I like that. So out of the countries you've been to, which country would you say has been the most adopted using Bitcoin?
I would definitely say Singapore is really easy to move around because there are a lot of options for you to spend on Bitcoin. Thailand is really pro, but recently Thailand government just got out a law that you cannot use it as money. Similarly was India. I think so. The first 165, 175, I think so. The first 180 days, I was just so hardcore Bitcoin. I would generally have somebody with me or find somebody to pay for me, and I would pay that person in Bitcoin. I would
Mm,
generally not carry cash. But I would say India launched a law and they said 30% tax and you cannot use Bitcoin or any cryptocurrency as money. Similarly happened with Thailand. Qatar recently launched it. But the most easiest, I would say, Cambodia was so much fun. I got a banana bread for Bitcoin, a tuk tuk for Bitcoin, a hotel for Bitcoin. In Sri Lanka, random places like I found a Bitcoin village in Sri Lanka where there were almost 5 places that accept Bitcoin. So these
Really?
all places are not yet talked about. You get it? Nobody is aware like, hey, there are such places that accept Bitcoin and you can support such places.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yep.
the countries that are now changing regulations and implementing taxes, are you finding countries like that just harder? The adoption is decreasing, or what's your experience in places like that?
Yes, definitely Qatar was a big challenge because they were really like a hush hush gray area. Most of the countries I would say is a gray area. You see, gray area when I mean to say is like there is no law yet passed for legalization, or neither it is deemed illegal.
Right.
But in Zambia, they are taking really great steps. Like I'm staying with this chap called Daniel. He is the country manager for Yellow Card, and he is in talks with the ministry. They invite the central government, the central bank to come in and adopt and to see what is happening in the Bitcoin world. Or I would say, for that matter, in Kenya, there is Bitcoin Matani, who is converting Bitcoin, teaching Bitcoin in 5 local languages. Or in Nigeria, there is Ensomia, who are taking steps like this to get involved in government, like because it is just the lack of information. And once you have information in your local language, it just makes it easier. Like if I started speaking in your local, I think so you speak English, but if I started speaking in your mother tongue, it would have been a much more different understanding with a lot of emotions involved
Yeah,
compared to just speaking in English. So
for
they are
sure.
taking steps about it.
For sure. Okay, that's awesome. That's great. Is so what's the least adopted, the most difficult country you've been in?
UAE was fun, but the difficult was Qatar. Like I couldn't find anyone. I just found like 3 people. One guy had a Bitcoin mining machine. One guy made me a cake for Bitcoin, and one guy sold me some cash so that I could buy shoes for Bitcoin.
Wow.
Qatar was the most toughest, but Qatar recently got their own exchange. So let's make it very simple. No government will let Bitcoin be, or let any cryptocurrency be their currency, because it loses power.
Yeah. Have you gone
Yeah.
to is El Salvador on your list?
I am going to El Salvador very soon. I will be in El Salvador by November. This is my plan,
Okay.
and that's how I can like see El Salvador. I'm going to Central Africa Republic because they recently said that they are
Yeah.
launching their own coin, Sango coin. I will be there in the month of September.
Okay. So has there been anything discouraging on your trip about Bitcoin in terms of, like, governments putting a stop to it or banning it in any way? Like, are you being discouraged in any way, or is it
I
the
get really
opposite?
scared. I get really scared. I get really scared because you're practically talking reality of what is paper money and what is paper money backed by. And I really do get scared in most of the countries because you're practically telling that your currency is shit.
Hmm.
And that really scares me out.
Yeah.
So I am just like, I'm kind of worried about it. Like I am like, so,
Ha-
but
Have
but
you
it's okay. There's a community.
have
Yeah.
you run into any like legal issues with police or just anything like that?
None so far. I've kept it very like it's just been moving around because you see, still, I would just give it to you. The mass adoption is 15 to 20 years way far apart. 15 years at least.
Yeah.
Uh, See, in Canada, in US, in Europe, you can say it easily. Is just because everybody pretty much speaks the similar language, and it is easier to penetrate into the markets, and it is easier. But here, every country you have a new language, man. In Africa, I speak about, or in India, there are almost 30 different languages.
Right.
So it is still catching on, and the governments, and given that there are so many scams, people are always not really pro about it. They're just like, hey,
Yeah.
like, are you trying to scam us? Are you trying to cheat us? How does this thing work? So far, thankfully, I've been able to move around almost 300 days without just getting caught by or being offending any government. I don't try to do that because I really feel it's the law of the country, and you respect the law of the country wherever you go.
For sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Did you start your travels in Africa, or were you somewhere before that?
I started from India. This was in September 2021. And from there, I moved over into UAE, then Thailand, Cambodia, Singapore, Sri Lanka, Qatar, and then moved over here. That was Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda, Tanzania, Malawi, Mozambique, Zimbabwe, Zambia.
Right.
Yeah.
Were you purchasing like airline tickets in Bitcoin?
So there are two options as we speak. There are three. There's one website called travala.com. Second is cheapair.com. The third is Bitrefill, where they sell you flights.com and hotels.com vouchers. So you can use any of these benefits, any of these features to buy Bitcoin. Or
What were
sorry,
those?
buy
What were
the
those
voucher.
two sites again that you said?
One is travala.com, Travala, Travala. The second
Yeah.
is cheapair.com. And the third is Bitrefill. Bitrefill is just like where you can buy your mobile vouchers and flight vouchers, 7-Eleven vouchers, and you can pay in Bitcoin and you can get those vouchers.
Yeah. Bit refill. Yeah.
Yep.
Love it. That's amazing. What would you
Thank
say is the biggest surprise along the way? Would you say?
you. The biggest surprise is just to see that there is a huge adoption of crypto in Africa.
Yeah.
like, like, come on, who knew all this is happening? And if to put it out very simple is the Africans are one step ahead of the entire world because they use mobile money.
Right.
So here you don't say unbank the banks because they're already on mobile money.
hmm And they've been on for a
Yeah.
while, right? Like they've been.
Oh
This is.
yeah. 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 Almost. This all started by a 17-year-old child back in Kenya, and this has just penetrated the entire market. Like you have your old school those Nokia phones, and
Yeah.
you can just type *303 or *115 and just type the number, and the money just goes. And it is instant. Like the yeah, like in the long term, it is not beneficial. Let's say if I'm sending you $100, there'll be that $2 or a $3 charge. So if you send that money over 36 times, your money is practically wiped out. You get it? The
Right.
charge every time you send it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it makes it easier, right? To move around, not carrying around so much cash, but just carrying around in your mobile all this money.
How have the fees been with transacting in Bitcoin?
Oh my God, on-chain has been the best thing, I think. So on-chain has been, as I've paid, the highest fee would be 50 cents or as low as 4 cents, 6 cents, 8 cents, 9 cents, 16. On-chain has gone really low thanks to the Lightning Network, which is amazing. I've been using Lightning Network a lot on my journey because just imagine if you're sending somebody some Bitcoin for as low as 10 cents, 1 cent, and they're like, hey, you can move around Bitcoin as low as this, and you're just surprised. You're just like, hey, I just got some Bitcoin, and people feel happy. It's just like that toy, you know. When you
Yeah.
have that toy, you're really happy, and you see that other person has a toy even I want. And when you go to buy, you're like, hey, it's one Bitcoin is $20,000,
Yeah.
and you're like, no, hey, you can have as low as 1 cent, and they're like, hey, wow, that is cool. And you show them the features of what is censorship and what is transparency. You show them how you can watch your transactions on blockchain. People really feel empowered. You know, it is about empowerment at the end of the day.
Yeah. Where are you meeting and connecting with people in different countries? Is there like a specific platform or site, or what are you doing?
Uh, as I move around, there is something on Telegram. I used to go down, try to find such groups. And if Telegram didn't work out, Twitter. And if Twitter didn't work out, so let's say as soon as I reached Kenya, I got connected to the community. The community made a noise on Twitter that I got connected to Uganda community. Then the Uganda community made a noise. Then we got connected to Rwanda. So I was finding the people connections in every country from zero. And I was just trying my luck, trying to find, hey, how do I do? And if it is not there, like in Mozambique and Malawi, it was not there. Found some traders, made up a group, set up a Bitcoin group, and like, hey, let's keep this for Bitcoin only. But eventually they move over to Web3 and they move over into other things. And I don't blame them, but I have just told them very clearly, like, do whatever you want to do NFTs, do metaverse, do altcoins, just start seeing your net worth in Bitcoin terms compared to US dollar terms because US dollar is losing its buying power.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you have you
Yeah.
seen in any countries people using something other than Bitcoin?
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Like I was just sitting with somebody. They are into Ubuntu coins, and Ubuntu coin has helped Buntu. Sorry, it's called Buntu, and Buntu coin is a blockchain, and Buntu chain they are using for the CBDCs in Nigeria. Then there is people using the Stellar chain. Something really very prominent in the African market is the Cello coin, the Cello chain, which is helping people process micropayments. Let's say I'll give you an example here. Let's say you are in Canada, I am here in Kenya. You give me a micro job of $10. I do that $10 job, and then you pay me through PayPal. PayPal takes a fees of $5-6. Or if you pay me through Western Union, money just goes away. So Cello coin comes in here and charges you as low as 5 cents, and you receive your $10 as $10. So they really facilitated that, and they have really penetrated into the market. And people are using. There are a lot of stable coins. Everybody has come down to call themselves a stable coin. Oh my god! I just like I am upset with this because everybody calls them a stable coin until you are just sold out. What happened to Celsius? What
Yeah.
happened to UST Luna? What happened to Blow? This is I think so. This is just the tip of the iceberg. I'm just feeling like there is a way a lot more because everybody was connected.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's just a lot of bubbles out there. There's been a lot of liquidity and just money floating around, which has created a lot of these assets, which are now starting to pop as things start to tighten.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes.
so what was that one you're saying that's been adopted? Cello coin?
Cello. Yep. Cello. The Cello blockchain itself. So
Interesting.
it's going good. I just got to know about a name called what is it called? UABA. It's called United African Blockchain Association, and they have done a really great. They have a great reach. So they have the Stellar on them. They have Cello on them. So they have a lot of other Witbit. Lot of. So what they're trying to do is make that bridge for the government to still have the power of minting your own coins.
Yeah.
And they control it, right? Like
Yeah.
they can like, and you know the government will not let go of the power.
No, that's concerning one too. When governments start to and central banks start issuing their own digital currencies.
Yeah, it's going to be really challenging.
That's you got to question if we'll have freedom at that point.
Brother, see, I love my good roads. I love my good healthcare, but I love everything what the government does. I really want them to move back to the gold standard. This is what Zimbabwe just moved over to the gold standard. Zimbabwe, it was a felony to hold gold and you could land in jail. But just on the 27th of June, they said you can start buying gold.
Okay.
And when gold is a scarce resource, I would really appreciate your government is backed by the gold and it is audited by the people. You just can't say that I am on gold standard when you abolished the gold standard in 1971. Come on. For 51 years, you have been telling us that we have the strongest form of money, but you are just slowly devaluing.
Yeah, I think.
And
Yeah.
it is happening. Like the freedom question is always going to be there. There is going to be hurdles. But I say, please, I love the government. Please do what you're doing because I understand you see on a very macro level. And I appreciate what you're doing, but start holding strong form of money, just have something that is not just getting devalued.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree for
Yeah.
sure. Um, so in places you've been to, in general, the populace, like, does everyone know what Bitcoin is? Have they heard of it primarily, or like the term Bitcoin is foreign to a lot of people still?
So true. Bitcoin is seen as a scam. Bitcoin is seen as a get rich quick scheme. Bitcoin is used as a synonym to all the coins. This is what Central Africa Republic did. They say we adopt Bitcoin. In my chats with some people out there, I understand they use this as a synonym. People are really scared of it because of the scams that have happened. People have run away with a lot of people's money because let's say we are humans and humans love trying and humans love making their own blockchains and humans are at it. That is great. I am amazed. I really appreciate innovation. I'm pro technology. I'm not at all against any of the blockchains that you're making. I'm just like, hey, you why you are having your own coin, and when you have your own coin, people believe you. People have still have that trust factor, right? Like, let's say you, me, and five of our friends are going to the same church, and you say, hey, Paco, I bought this coin, and I trust you. And you'll be like, hey, all right, I'll also buy that coin. And like, I trust you. I trust you. The next thing you know, it's a Terra.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So so
So
a
yeah,
lot
that's
so,
the current scenario.
so a lot of people in general, you would sum it up that majority of people, regular people, see Bitcoin as a scam.
True. 100%.
Yeah, interesting.
Yep.
What about like the people who really understand Bitcoin, who use Bitcoin? Like, how would you describe the characteristics of these people in general? Like, what are they like?
It is hodl. They will hold it. They are the smart ones. Like I was just sitting with one chap. He, since 2017, he's there. They will hodl. They will do anything and everything. And they will tell people, do NFT, do this, do that. And they will hodl their Bitcoin.
But like,
Uh, but
but like,
but the
how would you
Bitcoiners,
describe them? Like, are they like educated? You mentioned they're smart. Like, are they? How would you the characteristics of them? Do you notice any trends, similarities with the type of like true
yeah.
Bitcoiners?
So see, there are two kinds of people. So I would say every crypto trader who is there from 2013, 2017, they have seen the bear markets and the bull markets, and then have read about Bitcoin, and they really know what Bitcoin is. And when it comes to empowering people and imparting that education, there are a very limited few people who will do it, or they won't just talk about it. They will just keep it to themselves.
Hmm.
Be like just the hodlers in the secret silence, like
Yeah,
waiting like the Batman in the dark, and they are just like, yeah, we know it's happening. Um, I don't blame them. I really thank such people. I really thank the 2013, 2017 Bitcoiners because of their belief in the system, because of their understanding. I am able to do what I'm able to do today. So I'm really grateful. So there's a huge mix of such people,
interesting.
Uh, for ed- for for education, there are a lot of people who are doing it, and I'm really grateful. There are Bitcoin games, there are Bitcoin schools coming apart by Paxful. There are the Sharmony is Bitcoin games. There is Bitcoin education. So you see, we are taking all these steps forward, and Rome wasn't built in a day. And Bitcoin is a teenager. It's a 13-year-old baby.
Yeah,
And as you remember, when you were a teenager, Costa, you weren't a good boy, right? You were just like, I want to break out. I want my freedom. And this is where the Bitcoin is at current
yeah,
stage.
I hear you for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Interesting. So you
Yes.
you were also in Sri Lanka, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that economy now,
Yeah.
as we know, like it's essentially collapsed at this point. Like, what was your experience like over there with the people? Were people trying to get into Bitcoin? Like, what was the situation like there?
I gotten connected with one group that got me. Then we hosted a Bitcoin meetup, and we had almost 9, 10 different groups. So you can say majority of the youth, say about, in each of the groups I am currently, there are like 4,000, 5,000 members, 10,000 members. But I do not know. Maybe they might be sharing the same groups. But I see there is a huge adoption because they have seen their government falter. The president would not step down because, and the new countries or the new people who want to lend them money does not trust the current government to pay them
Yeah.
back, and then there'll be devaluation. Yes, I see USDT or Bitcoin as an escape route from the current thing that's happening, because I really see them getting devalued really bad,
Yeah.
really, really bad. This is what happened in Mozambique,
Mhm.
Zambia, Zimbabwe. They got devalued. Like if you had 100,000 kwacha, now it was 100 kwacha. If you had 100,000 meticals in Mozambique, that became 100 meticals. You're practically wiped out 99%, 99.99% of your entire wealth. And yet again, you're faltering currently in 2022 again you will get devalued because you don't have the money to pay them. If you print more, you get hyperinflation.
Yeah.
You move to US dollars, you have no more control. The US dollar is losing its power. So what is left in this entire mix? What is the solution?
Yeah. How are people
Yep.
getting their that local currency, like Sri Lanka, for example, out of that currency and into Bitcoin? Like, is the government blocking internet and sites? Like, how are people doing it?
There is a lot of P2P trades happening. They still do not have their own exchange, but Binance works. They use exchanges that are working in Thailand. Which is a Thailand? Bit Sasa? No, I do not know. There's one Thailand Thai exchange that is coming there. So there are exchanges, and mostly there are peer-to-peer deals that are happening. There's a huge market for peer-to-peer, and people are on it. Like they are adopting. They see. So I'll give you an example. The majority of your Sri Lankan population is working outside the country, and when they're sending money to their country, they're not using the bank services. They're using USDT to send it to them
Mm.
because USDT always gives you a premium. Let's say if you use the bank to send the money, you will get for a dollar 367. But if you use the USDT for a dollar, you will get 450.
Right.
Now tell me. And when this is happening, the government doesn't have dollar. If the government doesn't have dollar, they do not have petrol. If they do not have petrol, they do not have electricity. With no electricity, there is no work. With no work, the prices go up. So it is just like a effect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Anywhere in Asia, where have you? I know you mentioned you've been to a few countries in Asia.
Hmm. Cambodia, Singapore, Thailand.
Okay. Are you going to anywhere else in Asia?
I would definitely want to do Vietnam, Laos. Which was the other one? I wanted to go Indonesia. Bali is huge. Like when I was there during December, January, February, there was this COVID scare and stupid 14-day quarantine rules and staying in hotels, and I couldn't afford paying $100 a night for a hotel. But I definitely wanted to do Bali for that matter, or see Jakarta, because
Mm.
I hear really good things about it. Bali is practically the hub. Bali is going to be the hub on that department. I do want to do Vietnam because they have a nice community there, Bitcoin community, the Bitcoin Saigon they call it. There is a website called future.travel that lets you book your entire hotels, flights, or your travel around by using Bitcoin.
What was that site?
Future.travel.
Future.travel. I
Yep.
saw a video you posted on Twitter. It was funny. It was I think somewhere in Africa, someone had like a stack of bills, like 25 million, 50 million, 20 million,
Yeah,
and he was selling like the collection of these bills for like $20.
true, true.
Where was that?
That this is Zimbabwe. So Zimbabwe had a currency of trillions, like trillions. Like they had $100 trillion currency, $200, five, almost 100 trillion was there, $500 trillion. And they were like, "Here, I have them. Check this out. I'll show it to you. This is a $20 bill, $20 billion.
$20 billion bill right there.
Come on,
That's
think about
crazy.
it. And this is
How much
insane.
is
Even I
that worth?
have
In, how
this.
much
This is
USD
this
is
is
that
worthless. This is worth zero, nothing. Now they. So what
That's
happened in
ridiculous.
2008? All this got, this was their currency. They couldn't do that. So 2008 to 2016 they moved over to the US dollars. And in
I see.
2016 again they came out with their own currency. And in 2016 it was 1:1. So one Zimbabwean dollar was equal to one US dollar, right? Now 1:600. Again it's gone.
Yeah.
Tell me, you wake up. So what does an average Zimbabwean do is they get up. If they have money, they will not keep it in the bank. They will not keep it in their house. They will go buy sugar, rice, wheat, food products, or they just keep buying things because they know the next week or the 2 weeks later it will get expensive and expensive. So it is just getting expensive. Like you have no control over it. It is
That's
pathetic.
crazy.
It is really pathetic. Just imagine you go, like I was there. I bought a loaf of bread for $1, $1 and a local currency point. Let's say 1.05. The next day when it was 1.10. I was like, hey, I am okay that I can afford this stuff and it doesn't hurt me that 5, 10, 50 cents. But to that common person who just makes $5 a day, Dude, they make a really,
Yeah,
it's not good.
yeah,
It's very bad. That is, it is bad.
yeah. That's
Yep.
crazy. That's crazy. But you said so. Zimbabwe, they just announced now they're back. They're using back to the gold reserve. Yeah,
They said you can start saving your money in gold. This is the first time Zimbabwe has let it happen. So till now, an average Zimbabwean could not save money. Imagine you can't save dollars. You can't save in your dollar is better than your local currency, but even that is losing value. You can't have in like if you take a loan right now, you're giving a 200% interest in the bank. 200%.
hmm.
So what do you save in? See, so an average. See, you and me were taught about the importance of saving for the future, but now there is no more saving. What are you doing? You're just living. You're just living the Keynesian economics, like spend,
Yeah,
spend, spend. You don't have money, take a loan to spend more, and spend more.
yeah. It's I agree. I think that's an economic theory that doesn't work
Yeah.
over the long
Yep.
term. How do you see the U.S. dollar?
Ha,
Like, what's your
man. Like they recently did a new one now. They made a NATO base in Poland. So obviously they need money to make all the military power and guns and machines. You tell
yeah,
me how is that money going to come?
yeah,
Like I saw a very nice video by Ray Dalio who just told me in 1971 they ran out of gold reserves, right? Because they were spending way more. Like
yeah,
they when you don't have gold reserve, you practically have nothing. Like I feel you're just back. What are you backed by? Tell me. Like what is the Canadian dollar backed by as we speak today?
nothing,
Even if they
zero.
say US dollar, yeah, like so it is like brother, I give this example of you used to play Monopoly, right? And in
Hmm.
Monopoly you used to always say, hey banker, don't cheat.
Yeah,
But if the banker cheats and gives that extra 400 or 600, that person uses that 4 600 to buy that property. And when you land on that property, you have to pay rent. The banker is like, hey guys, take this free 200. But after the 15th round, you are unable to enjoy that free money because it has gone so expensive. And the rich
yeah,
got richer, the poor got poorer, and the game got over. This is where we are.
yeah. It's his history too. Like I'm reading. Speaking of Ray Dalio, principles for dealing with the changing world order, and he discusses. I don't know if you know. There's a lot of
Yep.
videos. He speaks about
Yes.
this a lot, but I think we could potentially living currently in a shift in a changing world order right now. Where
Hmm.
unfortunately that, or unfortunately or fortunately, that generation that's living through this, depending on how you
Hmm.
look at it. So it's interesting times for sure.
Yeah. The Chinese yuan, they say, is coming up, and it makes so much sense, brother. I'm in Africa. The roadways, the airports, the seaports, roadways, buildings, all owned by
China,
Chinese.
yeah. So you see a
So,
big Chinese presence in Africa.
100%.
Yeah,
Like, brother, listen, you have defaulted on your IMF loan. Okay? You're not paying your IMF fee. And now you still want to do the development. Who has money? And who has resources?
yeah,
China. So practically China is rebuilding the Silk Road, right? You remember the old Silk Road that was back in those times during the Mongol era?
yeah,
That was going from China all the way to the Europe, right? That has evolved because we have evolved. And the new Silk Road is you owning the airports, the
yeah,
roadways. So let's say if you want to make an airport and the airport costs $2 billion, China will come and say, hey, here I give you $10 billion.
yeah,
Now you do not have the capacity to pay for the next 99 years. Who
yeah.
wants
No,
it?
I know, I know. A lot happening. There's a lot happening in the world, and my hope is to just start informing more people. Like I think a lot of people are just going to be blindsided in the next decade, and my hope is just to talk about it more with people like yourself, and hopefully pique people's interest to get them researching on their own. So The last thing I wanted to just sort of pick your brain about, like any just general tips and recommendations for, like, for example, like hot wallets that to use for everyday transactions, or self custody wallet storage. Like, what's your stack that you're using to move and transact with Bitcoin?
Okay, fair enough. First of all, there are multiple hot wallets that you can use. I use Bitcoin only wallets. So, one I'm using is Paxful. It's an exchange where it's a peer-to-peer exchange where you can buy your Bitcoin and they let you use a Lightning wallet. So, it's pretty much quick and instant.
Is it, you said
Because,
Paxful?
yes, Paxful.
How do you spell that?
Paxful.
Okay, Paxful.
Paxful. And the second one is Blue Wallet. The third one is Wallet of Satoshi. The fourth one is Moon Wallet.
So why
Uh,
do you use multiples instead of just one?
I just like to use the different UI, UX. When I started off my journey, I was using Blue Wallet. Then I moved over to Wallet of Satoshi. Then I saw Moon Wallet. And I'm just like trying there what is happening in the Bitcoin eco space because I really like to see where all it is happening, what all are the new features that are coming. There is really in El Salvador they have their own wallet called the Bitcoin Beach wallet.
I see.
There is Breeze, so there are multiple wallets. So it is up to you. So you can do, and these are only Bitcoin, so you can't keep any other coins in this wallet.
Okay.
Uh, there's another one I use is Exodus that also supports Lightning. Lightning is like instant payment, so instantly you can transfer your Bitcoin without being on the chain. So Exodus, I use it for receiving some USDT because I get contributions from people and they sometimes support me with USDT. So I use that. These are the wallets, and for the cold storage, yet again, there is Ledger, Trezor, Cold Card. Right now, I'm just receiving something called as a foundation device foundation. So there are these multiple devices that you can see and you can use and you can hold your Bitcoin. Or you can use your desktop wallets, that is the Sparrow, Spectre wallets.
Yeah.
There are multiple options
A
for you.
lot to, yeah, for sure. Um, Amazing. So, you mentioned people are helping you out, receiving donations. Where can people find you? Come along on your journey. Like, where can people reach you and find you?
There are like three, four options. There are one if you're on Twitter, it's called Run with Bitcoin. It's just this one, Run with Bitcoin. Okay.
Nice.
The second is on YouTube. It's called Paco de la India.
Hmm.
If you want to follow my YouTube journey of how is Bitcoin adoption in different countries, and if you are on Substack, it's where I write blogs. That it's called again Paco de la India or Run with Bitcoin. Any of these things it will land you straight to my page on Substack, where I write daily blogs. And if you're on Instagram, it's called Run Every City. So any of these options, if we just Google hashtag Run with Bitcoin, you'll stumble on a lot of stuff.
Yeah. And where can people? How can people like donate if they wanted to support?
Yeah, there is a website called support.runwithbitcoin.com where you'll get to know about my history of how I got into all of this, what inspired me, what's my background, and the plan forward. So if you look up at support.runwithbitcoin.com, you'll get it.
Nice, perfect. I'll put that all in
Right?
the links so people can check it out. Paco, man, thank you so much. This was a real pleasure speaking with you and learning more. Best of
Yes.
luck on your journey, and I'll definitely be following along, and we'll definitely stay in touch.
All right. Thank you so much, brother. Have a beautiful day.
All right,
Thank you.
awesome. Thanks again.